the first time in more than 50 years, humans have traveled to the far side of the moon. The Artemis II mission completed its lunar flyby yesterday, observing parts of the lunar landscape that have never been seen before.
I just had an overwhelming sense of being moved by looking at the moon. It lasted just a second or two, and I actually couldn't even make it happen again. But something just drew me in suddenly to the lunar landscape, and it became real.
The plateau is hard for me to see from this window, but that had greatness hues to me. It was very unique. I didn't see anything like that anywhere else on this side of the moon. Man, when you look at the Terminator, it is just like impossibly rugged, and it reminds you that the whole far side is that way.
The crew also witnessed this, a lunar eclipse, breaking the record for the farthest distance traveled from Earth, and they named a newly discovered crater after mission commander Reed Wiseman's late wife. And the historic day brought them a congratulatory call from President Trump.
So I just wanted, it's an honor to speak to you, and I wanted to congratulate each and every one of you. And tell me, what is the most unforgettable part of this really historic day? The whole world is watching and listening. Please tell me.
And we saw sites, Oriental sites that no human has ever seen before, not even in Apollo, and that was amazing for us.
We're joined now by Les Johnson. He's a former chief technologist at NASA and the author of A Traveler's Guide to the Stars. Good morning, Les. Look, I just cannot get enough of these new pictures of the moon, hearing from the crew, and specifically on how emotional this experience has been for them. So I wonder for you, why was yesterday so historic? Because it must be more than just the miles from Earth.
Oh, it's absolutely more than the miles from Earth. This was really the first shakedown cruise test flight of the systems that we're going to be using to put people on the moon permanently with crew. Remember, the first flight was unmanned. Everything went great. This particular flight, we have people on board, and so far so good. Most of the systems are working really well. And that was really required for the program to stay on schedule. And what's historic about it, it may not seem like it's such a big deal because we did it back in the 60s. But this is huge because the plan this time is to go and stay and keep going out into the solar system. This is the moment that the human species, not just Americans, is breaking out of the cradle and we're moving out into the solar system.
Now, one heart-stopping component from yesterday is that the crew actually lost contact with mission control. That lasted for about 40 minutes, and that was as they passed around the far side of the moon. Let's just listen to the moment they regained communication.
Houston, integrity, comm check.
Integrity, we have you loud and clear. Tell me.
Houston, we have you the same, and it is so great to hear from Earth again.
It's so great to hear from Earth again. How nervous were you, and what might NASA learn from that moment?
Well, I wasn't nervous at all. This was a planned blackout. We knew the moon was going to be in the way. Artemis systems had been working flawlessly, and I fully expected things to come back up. And in fact, I talked to an astronaut friend of mine yesterday. The space station periodically has a very short loss of signal where they're not being observed all the time. And he said that the crew actually relaxes when they're not completely in contact. But this was not a stunt. This is something that's really important because when we do go back to the moon and stay, and when we start going to Mars, we might have times where there's loss of signal that's measured in days, okay? And so the crew and the systems have to be able to operate without ground control. And this is just another test of those systems, and they work great.
Can't imagine losing contact for days. Oh, the stories they will have. Les Johnson, great to have you digesting all of this for us. Thanks so much.